Hello, it is Wednesday. Let's check out what's going on in the market. Let's see. So yesterday we had a risk off and defensives were leading. Money was hiding. So what we saw yesterday was SMH was down pretty bad along with gold, and XLP was up, and we had a risk off day yesterday. Medium confidence on a growth scare, while roll rates were down, volatility was weak. So this is an interesting study on discount rate channel. As the 30-year was sitting near multi-year highs because of the term premium repricing, everyone's putting in money in the AI bond supply plus inflation. The assets that get hurt worst are the ones that have the value furthest from the future. So like long duration growth tech, whose entire thesis, like Nvidia, is we have profits in 2032. So that's why we're kind of seeing this flip where SOX was down 5%. And I posted an interesting tweet on this. So XLE over semiconductor. This is basically an inverse, which is pretty interesting. The same yield plus oil kept energy leading. XLE was almost 2%. And we're seeing money rotate into defensive. Gold sold basically on the degross there. And I'm seeing this as rotation and not panic. I'm not seeing it as a growth scare. SignalDeck is labeling this growth scare, but medium confidence. Because energy and defensive closed green, HYG, the credit. Really didn't budge. Corporate bonds. And VIX was only 16 on that. So nobody's really scared right now. And I'm looking at gold unwound on kind of high volume. To me, it was just like a crowded trade unwinding. We're just kind of getting some consolidation here. Pre-market's flipping. Let's see. I can't really tell the volume, but XLP is getting high volume in pre-market. So this is basically kind of what I'm seeing right now. Gold's kind of unwinding a bit. Everything's kind of moving to defensives. I've been scaling into corporate bonds for the last while as this been going into markdown. This is an interesting logic. On our Capital blog, we released a new blog just going into the details on the 30-year Treasury and while the 2-year fell, which is an interesting read. So if you have time, go through this. Interesting read there. We're not seeing the curve shift, it's just kind of tilting. And it goes into how the AI build out is affecting this. Where would you want to put your money if you couldn't hold it for 30 years? Interesting read if you're into that. AMLX really surprised me yesterday. If you look at regret, I probably should have done my 15-minute, which I do this all the time, but The reason I didn't is because there's a September 2022 September, or 2022, 2023 level there. I put a 3% rule on it. I'm fine with letting this go, but they did very well in phase 3. Fantastic, we're watching that. And then this morning, wow, Moderna is absolutely just going insane, 85%. So it's blown through the September 2024, August 2001, and July 2001 pre-market. So we're going to be watching this guy. This is a weekly chart, and this may be resetting the entire markdown from 2021. So we'll see how this sticks. Everybody's going to be watching this pre-market. Very interesting. What else we got? We'll go through some stuff later. Let's go through our positions and see what the runs look like. We'll go from there. IHI. It's kind of bouncing around on moderate volume. Lower volume up thrust, up pre-market. Okay. IEFA. Higher volume pullback. Stop loss remains in that wide range there. Path is up 10%. Okay. So we have a stop at break even, it looks like. High volume indecisive candle. So wouldn't be surprised if this pulls back. Where is this? It's definitely wild movement here. Pre-market up, pre-market down slightly. Okay, oops. Do not want to leave this. Okay, path, we already did path, BAC, I mean that's just really the XLF trade here. Just kind of drifting on lower volume. We have a very small, this was a very small profit margin trade there. Okay, so low volume pullback, up pre-market on ECO. Hopefully this continues up. EUFN. It's crazy. High volume. Up thrust. Up pre-market. Dang. So close. IQLT. High volume pullback. Close to our stop. But our stop is our original target. EPOL. Low volume pullback. Pre-market flat. Okay. Man. Okay, high volume bar. Try to connect to that higher, lower, that low volume on August 14th. Pre-market low. I think stop loss should remain on that and see if this continues. Okay, let's look at the runs. Leadership filter, RTX is showing up again. BAC shows up on leadership. That's the weekly. Okay. Yep, interesting. We have a watcher on RTX, I believe. No, we need to add that. Where's this thing? Because that's definitely consolidating there. Is this blue sky? Yeah. Okay. Box scanner. On 610. Okay, I gotta look into that. I need to make a note of this. Okay, I like that. And then Johnson & Johnson. We're going to see XLF move today, I think, because of all this Moderna action. So may just throw some shekels at XLF, see if I can catch a bid on that. And then repeal. I don't really like that. Alright, pull flag breakout. Pull flag breakout, but it's on kind of moderate volume there. I'm not that impressed. ACAD. What is this? Moderate volume. These are all breaking out on moderate volume. Alright, that's high volume. Really wasn't able to close over that high though. High type flag breakout. Dual momentum. Q again. ATR. Okay, cool. Alright, not too bad. Let's go through the charts. See if there's anything interesting. Whoa. I don't want to do that. Been watching AIR that came out on bull flag breakout yesterday. Didn't really go where we wanted to. Oh, I'm looking at the 4 hour. Nice. Got stopped out on ANF. BMY, we have a position on that. It seems to be catching some bids. It's going to be catching bids this morning on XLF. That makes sense. I'm going to remove BW. I'm going to remove CW at Y. It's always nice to just see what Walmart and Costco are doing. Apparently, okay. CVS is distributing, safe to say. FSLY, we've closed that with 9%. FXY is getting closer to the cash zone. Geo's further consolidating. Crazy chart. Statistically, that's crazy. Google's in markdown. GitLab. I don't know why. ICE. Ooh. Look at that guy. We're going to add ICE. And EIF, that's our position. Johnson Controls, we have a watcher on that. Microsoft's rolling over. Nvidia. Novo's further Maybe they'll catch a bid today. PK is again trying to get up. Parks and hotels. Some sort of real estate deal. SM, we're seeing a bunch of energy names from yesterday. Gold's consolidating. And we're back to the top. Okay, cool. Okay. So I'm going to be watching a couple of the healthcare names this morning. If we look at XLE, which we're pretty heavy into, just further flight. That's an interesting, just further validating the thesis on that. ITA consolidating, and then what was the other one? IWP getting closer to our stop on high volume, and then what else we got? I think that's about it. So watching gold, still not really where I would be if I wanted to buy it. We'll see what these rippers are doing this morning, and we'll go from there.